Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we do. It's the boys in the house. We here bringing you the UFC picks and predictions and breakdowns and our bet picks every single week, every single card. Today, we will be covering the UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Borralho, going down Saturday, August 24th. At the UFC Apex. DJ, spin that intro music. What's up, folks? Thank you guys for joining us once again. We are here chilling, talking about some fights as we do. We are covering the UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho, going down at the UFC Apex August 24th. Before we get too deep into it and we give you all of these beautiful, juicy winning picks, got to give a shout out to our episode sponsor, Pillow Fight. Pillowfight.co if you want to place any orders, if you want to learn more. They've been rocking with us forever, and we really appreciate it. Blissfully soft and shockingly supportive. Their commitment to premium foams and fibers provides superior comfort, all while being soft enough to cradle you to sleep like a little baby. It is worth every penny. Invest in your rest. Pillow Fight doesn't skimp on the details, and neither should you. Their innovative sleep designs and detailed craftsmanship means that their pillows actually help to improve your sleep. And they are also obsessed with making a difference. Every purchase at Pillow Fight allows them to donate pillows where they are needed most. So hit up pillowfight.co for orders, more info. Thank you, as always, to Pillow Fight for backing the Fight Pit. Beautiful stuff. All right. This one actually turned out to not be as big of a snoozer as I thought it was going to be. Not going to lie. There's a lot more names on this one that I'm happy to see than initially scheduled. So it's going to be a little better than I thought. A lot of hate going on for the Apex cards lately. They're going to be closing down until like next summer. So everybody who's been complaining about the Apex cards, your wish has been granted. No more Apex cards starting November for up until next summer. So enjoy them while we got them, folks. Enjoy them while we got them. This one, I think actually, the last one we did, Spivak and Tabura, was, yeah. Me and Matt, we were talking about it in the Discord chat. That's the first time in a while we were like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch all of this one, but let's hope that this one can redeem the Apex on this. I'm gonna shout out a couple of the fights on the on the undercard and some picks that I'm looking at that I think you guys might be interested in. Not too much action on the undercard. I would say there's a few money line picks that I really like. The first fights to open up the night, Victoria Leonardo versus Wang Kong, which was also my nickname in junior college. Wang Kong is 5-0, undefeated, coming off a submission win in May. Victoria Leonardo coming off of his TKO loss in May of last year. So I'm on Wang for that one. Money line. I am on the Wang. Over 1.5 on that one too. I think it could be a finish, but over 1.5 to be safe. The other ones I'm looking at, I like the following fight, Josie and Nunes money line. I like that one under 2.5. I think that one could be a finish. And James Lontop versus Vyacheslav Borshev. That one, I do like James Lontop. I like his style. I think he's gonna be a problem. I think that once he gets rolling, once he gets some more experience, once he's kind of seen it all, been there, done that throughout the UFC, like rankings and stuff, I think he could be a problem. I like James Long top money line on that one. I also like him by finish, under 2.5 rounds. And then Zachary Reese money line. I think Zachary Reese could also be a finish. I'm going to take that one under 2.5 also. Those are some names to take a look at, peep out if you are degenerates like us and you bet entire cards and you watch the entire thing and you're looking for money making opportunities throughout. I like those. Zachary Reese, I would say, is probably one of the locks on there. And I also think that Wang Kong, I think that's a good look. She seems to be rolling. Kicking off the main card, we have, it's the Danny Silva fight, I believe. Yeah. 145 fight. We got Danny Silva versus Dennis Bazooka. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you first on this one.
Yeah, so I actually really like this matchup. We have Dennis. He is very active, actually. He has 5 fights since 2023. So 5 fights in a year and a half. That's quite a bit. So I'm liking that activity there from him. And then his opponent, Silva, he has 4 fights since 2022. A bit less active, but still active nonetheless. And I honestly think that Danny Silva is going to get this done by a decision on Tapology. He is a huge favorite right now. It is 88% to 12%. So I'm going to have to go with I'm sorry, I usually go with the underdog, but I'm not going to do it this time. I just don't think that he's has really anything for Silva. I think he's just a better fighter overall. But you never know, it is MMA. I do think that if you were to bet on this one, I would say over round and a half for sure. And I see it getting done by decision.
That is exactly what I wrote too. I got Danny Silva money line over 1.5 rounds. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
Rolling in this one. That one, I think, if things go a certain way, like I said, could be competitive. Like you said, Bazooka, ordinarily we would give him a little bit more of a shot than we do in this one too. But Danny Silva is just 9-1. He's rolling. Got to keep it rolling. Got to keep rocking with the wins on Danny Silva on that one. Danny Silva moving on to 185. We got Edmen Shahbazyan versus Gerald Meerschaert. I think that's going to be a pretty sick fight. Gage, hit us with this one.
I'm actually shocked with how different the spread is on the money lines for this fight. I think it's kind of disrespectful to GM3.
Yeah, not giving Meerschaert much of a chance.
At a plus 230 against Shahbazyan being a minus 280, I think they had it at last I checked line. That kind of glazing Edmen Shahbazyan right now, he's not looked great against upper ranked opponents. He got knocked out by, shout out to Fluffy Hernandez, put him out in the first round, and he lost 3 out of his last 5. His last fight being a first round TKO win. He does have a lot of power. Doesn't throw a lot of volume though. A lot of counter punching. He is more confident in his striking than he has been earlier in his career. Doesn't shoot as much. Doesn't work the ground as much as he did earlier on. He does have a lot of submission wins. But Gerald Meerschaert actually has more submission wins. Because obviously Gerald Meerschaert has fought over 50 times. So he's got a lot of experience. He's been doing this for a long time. Comfortable on the ground. Averages more takedowns per fight. My biggest thing for why, clearly, if you haven't figured out, I'm going Gerald Meerschaert, going with the underdog here. He has 3.16 strikes landed per minute, absorbing a little higher at 3.27, I think. Edmen Shahbazyan's landing at 3.5, but absorbing over a 4 per minute clip. He's been put out before, and in that he had a rough stretch of fights where he was getting put out, tapped out, lost by decision to Jack Hermanson too, mixed in there. So I think he's not that he's a bad fighter, but giving too much leeway and credit here. Yes, he's 13-4, but he hasn't looked great his last 5 in the UFC. Make it 6, there's all 4 of his losses. And GM3 is a step up in competition that he hasn't shown that he can fight against. Gerald Meerschaert, TKO round 3. Put the money on the over 1.5.
TKO round 3 over 1. I like it. But I agree too. Like that's Edmen when he first got going, he was I get the hype and everything, but since then, like they're grasping for it, man. They're grasping for it. TKO round 3 over 1.5. Bada bing. Beautiful. We got 2 over 1.5s on that one. And an underdog. The lines. I don't see the lines up yet. But I got to figure that Gerald Meerschaert is probably the underdog unless people are thinking the same as us. But that's...
I'll check again right now. Give you
I like the GM3 money for sure. I like the GM3 money on that one too.
If you haven't you figured it out from the name this week.
GP3, baby. That's not I would say that might be front runner for dog of the week. I haven't seen the rest of the lines on those yet, except for Cannonier and Borralho. Yeah, so far, I think I'm going to take GM3 as my dog of the week. I like that one. I mean, of course, anything could happen, but I do like GM3 on that one. I'm going to hit the next one. You can let me know when you get those lines if they're
GM3
okay.
is plus 200. Shahbazyan at minus 325.
Whoa! Ho!
I think it should be way closer than that, but sheesh.
Dang,
Crazy
yeah.
odds.
I don't know how he swelled that much. I don't know. I mean, unless there's people that know stuff that we don't. I haven't heard of anything coming out of Meerschaert's camp about like him being injured or anything. That's just, dude. He's got, what is it, like? He's got 28 submissions. Yeah, that's, bro, over 50 fights, 28 submission wins. Insane.
Definitely not somebody to be underestimated.
He also has knockout power too. He's like,
yeah, he's got 6 KOs. That's not nothing.
He's been touched up too because he's fought so much, but
yeah,
he's not going to get put out easy by Edmen Shahbazyan. I don't think that's going to be an easy fight.
Shahbazyan does have 11 KO wins, coming off of a KO win over AJ Dobson.
Yeah, it's not the level. It's not the same level. It's not.
No, absolutely not. I think everybody just holds on to that Hamzat knockout too heavy. I think that's what that's like the impression that they have ingrained in their head with Meerschaert. So that's what every person thinks of as like his last fight. But nah, dude's been killing it.
For sure. And look how good he is now, though. He just went up against Kamaru Usman, got that decision win.
That, I mean, you can't fault anybody, especially at that time, too. Like, that was such a weird time. You would not be surprised if it came out later that something was going on with Hamzat at that time, because he's had all those, and absolutely, like, no disrespect or shade or anything. I wish him all the best. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but he's been getting sick a lot, and a lot of people chalk it up to the C word and the P word, but I would not be surprised if there was something else going on, if you know what I mean. Things have side effects, so I'll leave it at that. Let's jump down to 170, actually. This one's so frustrating. Number 12 ranked Neil Magny versus Michael Morales. Neil Magny, just the most frustrating dude. Love him to death. Love him to death. I hope that he puts it together and becomes a champion someday. Love that dude. So fucking frustrating trying to bet on him. Neil Magny is 29-11. He's got 8 KO wins, 4 submission wins, 17 decision wins. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off of a TKO win over Mike Malott back in January. Excuse me. Going up against Michael Morales, 16-fight win streak, undefeated, 16-0, 11 KO wins, 1 submission win, 4 decision wins, coming off of a unanimous decision win over Jake Matthews last November. Little bit of a layoff, but I think that Michael Morales is, he's heavily favored in this one. Opened at a minus 650 against number 12. For sure, throw some money down on Neil Magny money line on that one, because you can't not. Like I said, Neil Magny is the most frustrating fighter to try to pick, because dude gets rolling and then gets caught, and then gets caught and then gets rolling, and he loses fights that he's favored in, and he wins fights that he's the underdog in. It's just the most frustrating to try to call on this one. I have to go with Michael Morales, because, rule of thumb, if someone's on a roll, you gotta keep riding the wave. If you got a streak going, you gotta keep riding it. You gotta ride it until it breaks. So Michael Morales, I probably would try to shoot for a certain round or Michael Morales by a certain type of finish, because I think that if he wins, he will get a finish in this one. I'm gonna say submission. I think that's the one that Neil Magny has lost by the most as far as finishes. But under 2.5 rounds, I think, is the most safe bet. Neil Magny money line. Excuse me. If you're doing a dog parlay, definitely drop Neil Magny in there on 1 or 2. Very difficult to pick Neil Magny, even though he's number 12, even though he's coming off a win. You gotta play it smart. You gotta roll with the wins. You gotta ride the streak. So official pick, Michael Morales by submission, and I'm going under 2.5 rounds on that one. And that will take us to the co-main event. We have number 9 ranked Angela Hill versus number 11 ranked Tabitha Ricci. Gonna be a good one. Let's start counterclockwise on this one. So we'll go Matt.
Alrighty. For me, I'm personally going with Angela Hill. I'm a real big fan of her style, and I think that she can utilize some of her tools to go ahead and eke out the decision win. And this is actually an interesting stat here. 40 out of 53 of the women's fights have ended in a decision this year in 2024. So that's 75%. So that's probably the safest bet that you can make here.
I like it. I did not know that. It makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. That's a good number, though. That's a good number.
Yeah, 75%. Crazy.
Yeah, you cannot pass up on 75%. You get 75% odds on anything, you gotta hit it. Hit it. Gage,
3 out of 4.
who are you going with? Yeah, 3 out of 4 is beautiful.
Well, the fight to go the distance. Pretty easily there. God, this is an interesting co-main, to say the least. I think the only thing making me not pick Angela Hill by decision, even though she's come on a 2-fight win streak, and Tabitha Ricci 10-2, coming off a loss. There's a 10-year age gap Angela Hill is pushing 40. Despite this sport's not really kind to people of that age group, unless you're Andre Arlovsky or Clay Guida, who don't know, or Jim Miller, that don't know what age is. So she's been put through a lot of bad fights, and she's been fed to a lot of people. The latest being Mackenzie Dern 3 fights ago. So I think Tabitha's getting a push by the UFC now, going off a loss to Lupe Martinez, who's also on her own push. So I think it's going to be Tabitha Ricci. She has some very good ones in the division already to go the distance. UD 29-28.
I like it. I don't disagree. I personally am going with Angela Hill on this one, but that's only because she is the equivalent of Neil Magny. Anytime I think that she's going to lose, she wins. Anytime I think she's going to win, she loses. And I think she's going to lose this one. I think that Tabitha Ricci is going to take this one out. I think she's going to add another name to her resume. I think that it's going to be a decision either way.
I forgot to say Tabitha Ricci also has a victory over one of your favorite women fighters in Jillian Robertson.
Oh, don't say it. Oh, dang it. Okay, so I'm doing the rest of this episode all hot and bothered. Appreciate you. No, honestly, I think that Tabitha Ricci wins this one, which is why I'm gonna pick Angela Hill on this one. I'm willing to take it on the record, but I feel like my gut will be wrong, and my gut says that it's gonna be Tabitha Ricci. So I'm for sure gonna be taking Tabitha Ricci on like the I call them the favorites parlays, like whoever I think is absolutely supposed to win. But Angela Hill, she's going against Father Time. She's going against nature, and she's looking better now than she did in the past when she was doing well, which is surprising because she didn't like really do too bad in the past. But she's just, the experience, all the miles, all the hours in the gym, all the looks that she's got from all the different components. It's coming together beautifully. She's putting it together, and I feel like this one is going to be one of those ones where she screws up my parlay. So I'm going to go with Angela Hill by decision on that one. We got decisions galore, though. Yeah, no matter which way you're betting on this one, we're all taking over 2.5. We're all taking fight to go the distance. We're all taking this fight not to be a finish in any way, shape, or form. So whoever you got, take them to the cards, baby. And finishing up the picks, we got the main event of the evening. Number 5, Jared Cannonier versus number 12, Caio Borralho. Jared Cannonier, 17-7, 10 KO wins, 2 submission wins, 5 decision wins. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off of a TKO loss to Nasruddin Imavov, which could have gone a little longer. And Caio Borralho, he is 16-1. Fighting nerds. 5 KO wins, 4 submission wins, 7 decision wins. He's on a 13-fight win streak, and he's 15-1 in his last 16 fights. Last fight was May. He got a KO win over Paul Craig. And let's go the other way. Gage, kick us off on this one.
If you watch that Paul Craig fight, he put on a clinic. Looks strong in every facet of the game. Very physically imposing on Paul Craig, which is very hard to do. He was looking like the guy. He's got the build for it. He's got everything going for him. And one thing that is also going for Caio is his team's riding hot. That whole team with John Silva, him, Who else? Who else is real hot in fighting nerds right now? Just saw someone last week too. I mean, 2 weeks ago.
Blanking the names, yeah.
Anyway, like I said for Angela Hill, Jared Cannonier is 40. And that time is not your friend in this game. It's ticking away. And he's taking a lot of shots. And you don't want to take a lot of shots in Caio. He's got a lot of power. And he will take him to the ground if he has to. And he will definitely be better on the ground than Jared Cannonier. So I don't think it's really, he's a 170 favorite, and that's pretty good odds to take Caio. So it's a Jared Cannonier fight, and I think someone's going to get knocked out, so obviously it's going to go the distance. Obviously that's that. So I'm going to go over two. I'm going to hedge and go over 2.5 here. Because it's a 5-round fight. It's at Maine, right? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So over 2.5. Then I'm going to go submission Caio Borralho.
Ooh, yeah. Beautiful. Kind of almost exactly what I put. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Great minds, baby. Oh my gosh, speaking of great minds, I got something I gotta show you afterwards. Matt, hit us with it, baby. Who you got in this one?
I'm gonna have to go with Caio Borralho as well. I thought Jared Cannonier, the last fight was a bit of a short stoppage, but he did put on a good pace, and I think it's going to be a competitive fight for sure. Jared Cannonier definitely has proved that he still has, 5-round cardio, as he was putting the pace on Nasruddin Imavov in the earlier rounds, well, before he got caught. And then I'm excited to see Caio Borralho getting such a big step up in competition. I think his last fight with Paul Craig was kind of a layup, as long as he didn't go to the ground with him, because Paul Craig can submit the best of the best. He is definitely a jiu-jitsu specialist, but against strikers, he kind of just drag his ass against the ground and try to get you down to his world. And I'm just excited to see this step up in competition for him.
Facts. I dig that. Official pick for Matt and the rounds.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over 2.5. I would say either a 3rd-round submission, or I can see Caio Borralho getting a TKO within the later rounds, round 3 and up.
Boom. So we'll go finish. Go finish by Caio. Boom. I like it. The only thing that I have down different, gentlemen, exactly what Gage said. My pick is Caio Borralho. I have it over 2.5. And I think that this fight is a finish either way. That's why I put my decision, because I feel like even though this is, I knew that Gage was going to go the same way, because that's just, we make all the same picks every day when we wake up in the morning. It's just a sure thing. So I knew that we would have the finish covered. So that's why I'm hedging, and I'm going to go decision on this one. But I still have Caio Borralho winning, and I still have it over 2.5. Exactly. And poor Jared Cannonier, man. Guy finally makes it up to a title shot, has one of the biggest letdown title fights that we've seen in middleweight, and having such rough luck trying to get back to it. And I like him. He's a good dude. You don't ever see him in any controversy or starting any trouble or, shit talking and stuff like that. So I wish things were going better for him. But Caio Borralho is that dude. He is that dude right now. And that can't too, like Gage was saying earlier. The one that we saw recently was Carlos Prates. And another one that we see a lot, Mauricio Ruffi. out of that camp. Let's see. Felipe Buacau Douglas, Carlos Paredes, Caio Borralho, Jean Silva. Ooh. And I think that's it as far as the UFC guys. There might be one or two more. Reginald Jr. He's somebody to keep an eye on. He's 8-1. But that camp is nuts. Dang, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was too. Jeez.
Where do they train?
There are so many people on here. It is Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I was just saying it's a lot of Brazilians on that team.
Yeah, the Fighting Nerds out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, aka Fighting Nerds Combat Club, trained by Flavio Alvaro and Pablo Sucupira. Yeah, that's like an American, or that's like the Brazilian-based like Black Zillions type of gym, where it's just a bunch of dudes who are already doing it, people who are already rolling and stuff, all just came together and were like, hey, let's just make our own team and just wreck shit. Absolutely wreck shit. John Silva, bro. I did not have him doing that
classes.
To Drew Dober.
Weight classes too. Don't forget.
Nuts. And he did, I believe he missed weight for that last. That is crazy. I don't ever see anybody doing anything like that to Drew Dober. He's so tough. He's a fucking tank, dude.
Stood in front of Drew and just said, we're just going to throw hands today.
And I was off because, bro, you got some brass ones. And I was off. I thought that Jean Silva was going to look a lot smaller because Drew Dober's a stocky fucking 155er. And coming up in weight after missing weight, I thought that he was going to look a little shorter. I thought that he looked like he was big for the weight class he was in, but that he would look like average size once he moved up. He did not. He looked. There we go. We back?
Yeah.
Boom. But yeah, so Fighting Nerds, solid team. Make sure you guys stay on the lookout for them. Anytime they're on the card, we'll let you know. It's one of our favorite teams at this point. So we got 2 for Caio, 3 for Caio, 2 of them for a finish, and I'm taking them by decision, but everybody is taking it over 2.5. So if you want a solid safe pick on that main event, over 2.5 is the way to go. Is Caio our lock of the week, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'll go with Caio.
Okay, lock of the week. Who are we going for dog? Taking votes for dog.
GM3.
GM3Z.
I'm gonna have to say the same.
GM3Z, baby. So we got Caio Borralho as the lock, GM3 as the dog, GM3 at a
plus 200.
Said that it moved to a plus 200. Sick, 2-1, beautiful. And then Caio opened at a 160, and he's currently
minus 170. What I just checked.
Nice. William Hill has minus 180, so make sure you get him at 170 on what on the book.
Shout out Hard Rock for the odds.
Boom, baby. Let's go. I like it. And then, as I stated before, on the undercard, I like Wang Kong money line over 1.5, Josiane Nunes money line under 2.5, James Lawntop money line under 2.5, Zachary Reese money line under 2.5. I like Zachary Reese by finish also. I think KO is how I'm going to go with that Zachary Reese pick. but under 2.5 nonetheless. If you like to parlay rounds picks, as I do, I usually do pretty good on them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 5 fights, all going under 2.5 total, and then we have overs on the rest of them. Main event, we got over 2.5. Co-main event to go the distance, so over 2.5. I got the Morales and Magny fight going under 2.5. Shahbazyan and Meerschaert fight. That one I have going under 2.5. Gage has over 1.5. So that's going to be a good one. Danny Silva over 1.5 from Matt. And that's it. That's a short main card. I keep overlapping them on this one. Do we have any parlays, anything at all that you want to share with the folks that you guys are putting in?
I just have Tabitha decision, Caio, money line. If you like to do rounds, that's your own thing. I just personally do fight night money line parlays because it's fight nights.
That's the way to go.
I'll go Angela Hill, Tabitha Ricci by decision, and then I'll go Danny Silva, the Danny Silva fight over 1.5.
That's a good one.
If you want a little spice to your parlay, obviously GM3 money line.
Yeah, if you want to get super spicy with it, GM3, Neil Magny, Angela Hill. I think those are the ones that I think those three. I think that GM3 has the most potential for an upset, and I think that Angela Hill and Neil Magny are just two fighters that, as soon as you assume that they're going to lose, they win. That one's got to be worth your while. Probably throw a little bit on that. Don't go too crazy, but I like those. I like those as the possible dogs for upsets. And then on the undercard, I would say lock probably Zachary Reese. I like him. That could be a tough fight, but I don't see that one going the distance. I think that Zachary Reese gets the finish on that one. I think that would probably be my lock. James Longtop, though, I'm big on him. I like him to get a finish in that one too. So that could be James Longtop by KO and Zachary Reese by KO for an undercard parlay. Might not be too bad an idea. And that wraps it up for this card. Let's see. Is there any current events you guys want to throw out there real quick before I wrap this up?
No.
It's quiet.
Good. The fights that got announced recently, Eric Anders versus Chris Weidman in November. Two vets of the sport. Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. That'll be a sick one. That one's going down October 19th. We got any early picks on that one? Font versus Phillips?
Rob Font,
yeah.
Yep. You can't not. Kyler Phillips is tough to bet against, but Rob Font is Rob Font, and we are the Fight Pit. And if Rob Font is fighting, we are picking Rob Font. The only other one I wanted to mention, Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis. I think Saint Denis healthy is
BSD all day long.
He's too big for him, I feel like.
Yeah. I love Renato Moicano. I got nothing against him. He's developed a dominant style, and I think he keeps skating by. I think that he got lucky a couple times. I think that that Jalen Turner fight, I feel like he got a real gift with that one. But BSD BSD coming off of that Poirier fight after having that alleged staph, getting the KO loss. I think BSD is going to be a scary dude that night. Scary dude. And that one is going down September 22nd, and that's going to headline with Nasruddin Imavov and Brendan Allen as the co-main event. So September 22nd, be on the lookout for that one. If you see that line drop and BSD is anywhere near a pick'em, jump all over it. And by KO too. I'm gonna hit BSD by KO as soon as possible. All right, gentlemen.
By submission.
Submission. I would not be surprised. Moicano wants the ground. I know that
For
much.
sure.
I know.
Yeah, BSD also wants the ground.
Grappling exchanges are going to be crazy in there.
It'll be sick. I think it'll be a sick fight for like a round and a half. I don't see it going the full distance.
No,
I think BSD is going to be
under 1.5 for sure.
Yeah, I think BSD is going to be a man on a mission, and that's going to be he's going to be a problem.
It could be one of those fight to end in the first minute kind of.
Yeah,
that's kind of hedge.
Yeah, Moicano's a little bit chinny too, I feel like.
He
is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how he makes it through.
Jalen Turner thought he put that man to the shadow realm at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
That's. I'm always going to hold that one against him. Yeah. Always going to. That wraps it up. Boys, good to see you, as always. We got the next card coming up after this one. Let's see what we got here. Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady on September 7th. That one also has Jessica Andrade versus Natalia Silva, Steve Garcia versus Kyle Nelson, Matt Schnell and Alessandro Costa, Trevor Peake. I like those so far.
Yeah,
Ryan Spann
is still fighting. Shit.
Yeah, he's a dog, bro. He's a dog. Ryan Spann versus Ovince St. Preux. Speaking of people who are still fighting, Felipe Dos Santos and Andre Lima. That's going to be an early. I think that's going to be an early prelims fight. That's going to be sweet. You got to tune in early for that one. Andre Petrosky versus Dylan Budka. That's the first fight of the night. Man, how far Andre Petrosky has fallen, huh?
Fortunately.
Poor guy. But yeah, so next one that we will be here for will be Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady going on September 7th. So be on the lookout Monday of that fight week. We are here live and early and direct and in your face with all these picks, all these hot picks. Any last words, gentlemen?
No, that's all that has to be said.
Hell yeah. Good to see you guys. Thanks for doing this. Please make sure to subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed to the Fight Pit on YouTube. Search up the Fight Pit House Call. And we are the real House Call, not the Raiders House Call. We are the House Call. And we got the official Fight Pit on Instagram. Follow all you boys. We all there. Shaboy Drew, Shaboy Gage, and Shaboy Matt. We are out of here, folks. We will see you on the next one. Peace.